everybody, so welcome to my new video. So today I'm going to be doing a book tag video, and I've taken some questions from two different book tags, and the first one is My Life in Books, and that tag was created by a Perfection Called Books. I currently have all my answers and just some little notes for me in my bullet journal, so you guys will probably see this a bit in the video, and I'm just going to be reading from it because there's just quite a few things and I want to make sure I do this right. So again, the first one was My Life in Books, and that one was by A Perfection Called Books. And then the second one is the TBR tag, and that is by the Dreamland Book Blog. So shout out to them for just being super creative and coming up with the book tag. And yeah, so I'm really excited to make this video, and let's just get into it. So we're going to start out with some questions from the My Life in Books tag, and the first one was 3 books that match your initials that start with the same letter, essentially. So I'm just going to be doing Molly because I don't want to share too much about myself, and exactly. So the first one that I found was Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins, and this is the third book in the Hunger Games trilogy. And although I might not have been a huge Hunger Games fan, I just kind of got on to the bandwagon because of the movies, I'll admit it. I just was really here for Josh Hutcherson. I can't say his name, but it's fine. But I did really love Mockingjay. I thought it was honestly the best book in the series. Still mad that they killed Finnick. I think it's okay to spoil some things. It's been many years now, so I hope you've read Hunger Games at this point because you're really behind if you haven't. Okay, so the second question is a place that I'd like to travel, and so the book that I chose for this one is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This book just sounds so exciting, and the setting I feel like plays a really big part of it. So this book follows Stevie Bell. She is a true crime aficionado like myself, and she is going to this boarding school in Vermont, and her goal is to kind of solve the main crime that kind of founded the school, essentially. The founder's wife and daughter were kidnapped, and so she wants to know who kidnapped the founder's wife and daughter, and then that person who kidnapped them's name was Truly Devious, and then Truly Devious comes back while she is at school, and so she's kind of solving 2 crimes at once, and it sounds super exciting. And the school that she's at is all like based on puzzles and like using your mind, and that learning is a game, and it just sounds so exciting and so fun. So I'm really excited to read this book. Hopefully I'll get to it soon, and the setting just sounds amazing and like it plays a really important part, so I'm really looking forward to it. Next up, we have a book with my favorite color on the cover, and so I don't really have a favorite color, which is kind of boring, I'm sorry, but it just switches a lot, and right now I don't really know, but I always love like orange and really pretty colors like that, and so I decided to go with Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I just feel like this cover is also so pretty, so I just kind of picked one that had a really pretty cover also, and I just love this like watercolor effect kind of on it, so I felt like this was a pretty good pick for this one. And then Illuminae is about this planet who is about to be fought over. I don't know too much about it. I talked about this book in a haul video, so I'm not going to get too into it, but it's sci-fi, futuristic. There's a girl who broke up with someone, and they have to come back together to like solve what's going on and save the world. And it just sounds very typical YA crazy adventure that I know I will love. So I'm excited to read this one also. This book is also told through like files and pictures and posters. It's just like very unique. I don't know. I'm very interested in reading it, and I'm very excited to see what this is like. And again, this was just what my favorite color was, and I just felt like this color right here, the orange, is really pretty. So yeah. Next we have a book that brings back really fond memories, and so I had to go with I'd Tell You I Love You, But Then I'd Have to Kill You by Ally Carter. This is the first book in the Gallagher Girls series, and it is one of the first book series that I ever read that really got me into reading. I know I've talked about Percy Jackson and Harry Potter and how I love those books and they've got me into reading, but this is the real OG here. This is honestly the first book series that I think I ever completely read, and I loved every minute of this book series. I love everything. So the Gallagher Girls series follows all these girls who go to a spy school, and they have to balance going to spy school, and then Kami Morgan, she is our main gal, and we follow her and her friends, and she gets a boyfriend who does not know that she goes to spy school, and so this whole book is about her balancing all of that, and the series just gets better and better and more dramatic, and I really got to like grow up with this series, so I absolutely love this series. And whenever I'm just feeling really nostalgic, this is just a go-to series to reread because the books are so short. So I love this series. Now we have a book that was really difficult to read, and not necessarily as it was like really hard to read and like I didn't understand anything that was going on. This one for me was more just like I just want it to be over. So that is Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. So this is part of the Grisha trilogy. This is the final book in the Grisha trilogy, and while the Grisha trilogy is not bad, I just was really excited to read Six of Crows, and I felt obligated to read Grisha trilogy first, even though you 100% don't have to because they're completely different stories. They're just set in the same universe. But my purest heart really wanted to read the series Leigh Bardugo wrote first before I read Six of Crows. So once I got to this point, I'm just like, oh my god, can I please just read Six of Crows now? I love Alina Starkov, the main character in this series. I also love Nikolai. I really hate Mal, and I feel like Mal was really important in this book. I mean, he's kind of important in the whole series, but I really don't like him. So that was another thing that made this really difficult for me, because there was very clearly a love triangle, but it did not go in the way I wanted it to in the end. So, a real bummer, but again, this book is not bad. I was really excited for it to be over, so there's that. And so the last question in this tag is, what book on my TBR will give me the most satisfaction after I'm done reading it? And that is let me just make sure I say this correctly, Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I believe that's how you say her name. But basically, I have heard amazing things about Children of Blood and Bone. It's basically just kind of sounds like a Harry Potter with African mythology and African roots, and it just sounds so cool, and I'm just very interested in like the magic and what is necessarily going to be done in that. I know it's really popular on BookTube right now, and I have not gotten the chance to get it yet, so hopefully I will get my hand on a copy soon, and then I will read that, and maybe I'll do a review on it, maybe not. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do a specific review on that book or any of the other books that I have mentioned so far. So I'm just very excited to read that book and finally know what everyone else is talking about, because it just sounds like everyone absolutely loves it. Now I'm moving on to the TBR tag, and the first question I'm going to do from that tag is an unpublished book that you're excited to read, and for me that is the last book in the Diviners series, and that's by Libba Bray. And I'm so excited for that book to come out. Currently, there isn't like a set release date. There isn't even a cover for me to put in this video. That's how far out this book is and how long it takes Libba Bray to write these books. I luckily only started reading the books from the last one, Before the Devil Breaks You, and that came out about a year ago, but I know that she's taken a really long time to get all of these books out because she writes like a lot of different series at once. But I love the books so much. I'm so glad that she does take the time though, because they're all like amazing. And I love all of the characters. We have Theta, we have Evie, my problematic favorite character, who is just the best. We have Sam Lloyd, we have Memphis. I just love them all. There are even so many more. There's such great representation of different races and sexualities in the 1920s, and it's just so interesting to see all these different perspectives, like also interweaved with like magic. And it's very much how you kind of want social issues like written about in a book, where it's like present is talked about, but it also is like weaved into the story and weaved in with the magic. I don't know. This series just kind of has everything, and I love it, and I'm not excited for it to end, but I'm very excited to like finally read it, if that makes sense. And then the last question I'm going to be doing is a book on my TBR list that was recommended to me. And so for that I'll give you The Sun by Jandy Nelson, and I am very excited to read this book. This is actually my English teacher's copy of the book that he lent to me, and I'm just so excited to read this. I believe this is not the typical cover of the book, because this one has like a quote from the book on the front, and then this, what's on the inside is usually what the cover looks like, but I love this version of it. I think this is very fun and different, so I like it. And then this book follows Jude and Noah Sweetwine, and they're twins, and they were once inseparable and now they're not, and they have boyfriends, they go through drama, you don't really know exactly what's going on, but half of the story is told from Jude's perspective and half the story is told from Noah's perspective, so I'm just very excited to read this book. It's not a series, but I have just heard amazing things, and I feel like it's about time that I finally get to it. Again, I just want to credit A Perfection Called Books and the Dreamland Book blog for coming up with the questions in this video that I'm doing. These again are two separate tags, and I just kind of like handpicked certain questions just because I wanted to try out the tag video. So thanks again for them for coming up with these questions. I loved doing this video, and I will probably be doing more tag videos, so very excited about that. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this kind of gives you more insight into what types of books I like to read and what other types of books I'm planning to read. So make sure you like this video if you want to see more book tag videos, and subscribe to my channel to keep up with all my videos, and comment down below what books you're excited to read that are on your TBR. So thank you so much for watching, and have a good one, guys.